Hi there. My name is Rosemary Ferrante. I'm the Vice President of CCND. The Connecticut Council for Non-Adversarial Divorce is the statewide nonprofit professional organization of Connecticut mediators and collaborative divorce practitioners. Our membership includes attorneys, mental health professionals, and financial specialists. Our mission is to change the way people divorce or separate in Connecticut by reducing conflict and improving the lives of family members, especially children. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing three wonderful collaborative divorce professionals who teach our introductory interdisciplinary collaborative practice training. These three women have been training others in the collaborative process for many years together. Lisa Gresham is a certified divorce financial analyst and the founder of Equitable Divorce Solutions. She has over 35 years of financial and investment experience and has focused her practice solely on the complex financial issues specific to divorce. Lisa works to aid in the design of settlement options that will help her clients disentangle their finances and to move forward with independence and stability after divorce. As a financial neutral in the collaborative divorce process, Lisa helps her clients identify their interests, moving away from positions in order to find workable options for the family as a whole. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Rosemary. Thank you.
Attorney Kim Dole has practiced family law for 39 years, constantly seeking better ways to support families going through divorce and separation. She has extensive training, practice, and teaching experience in collaborative divorce and in mediation. For decades, Kim has advocated passionately for the children of divorce as a GAL and AMC. Her goal is to shift the culture of family dissolution in Connecticut and provide an array of options for clients and families with an emphasis on problem solving and improving communication and listening skills for all during this difficult time. Her practice is in Manchester, Connecticut, where she brings her knowledge and love of peacemaking and mindfulness to the world of family law. Hi, Kim.
Hi, thanks for having us.
And last but not least, Dr. Elizabeth Thayer is a psychologist at Beacon Behavioral Services. She's been practicing as a psychologist for over 45 years and has been involved in working with families of divorce for over 25 years. She co-founded the Peace Program, which is a parent counseling program for divorcing parents, and co-authored 2 books on divorce. She has been involved in the collaborative divorce movement for over 20 years. She is the co-chair of the IACP Trainers Group and has been the co-chair of the IACP Access to Collaborative Committee, bringing the collaborative divorce process to all families regardless of their income and diversity. Hi, Liza.
Hi, Rosemary.
So today's program is an ongoing series provided by CCND. And today we're focusing on the collaborative divorce process, what it is and how it differs from mediation and litigation. These three professionals that I've already introduced provide the training for the collaborative practice from CCND, which is upcoming in March. So we're going to be discussing that as well. So I'd like to start by just asking, what is the collaborative divorce process?
So I think I'll take that one. So the collaborative divorce process is an ADR or alternative dispute resolution process. It's an elective process where everyone has to agree to essentially be part of the process and buy into the process and agree to its terms. It differs from litigation in that it is very much a client-centered process where the clients are front and center. And for lawyers, this represents for us a really big paradigm shift because we are trained and experienced in being the warrior, the gladiator, the one that's out in front. And really in this process, we step back and provide support for clients along with our interdisciplinary team of the mental health professional and the financial professional, essentially shepherding the clients to resolve their problems. So they really are front and center. We're kind of leading from the back and whispering in their ear and creating a container. to deal with all of the very difficult issues that face families who are divorcing, both in Connecticut and really across the world. This model of collaborative has taken hold. It is a process that is based and founded in the team approach and a level of transparency. And so anything that is requested is provided by way of documents. The whole team takes a pledge and makes a written commitment in an initial document saying that no one will take advantage of any mistakes. Everyone will cooperate and participate fully. And so it is a very, very different process than litigation. It is like mediation, it is an ADR process, and mediation is often very centered on the clients as well. But the real difference in collaborative that I find is that as a result of having experts in each of the three areas of the problems that present to families, the real human problems, there's the legal problems, but underneath them are the human problems. We have the financial professional who can guide and direct the team on issues of finances, the mental health professional who can deal with all of the emotional parts of the process, including for the team members, and then the lawyer who deals with the legal problems. And really, it's the melding of those that is, I believe, the magic of collaborative, and the thing that, done well, makes the process so valuable to clients. Often that we hear from clients at the end of a collaborative about new skills that they have learned that they really can take with them, that are really very portable and transportable. So not only are they resolving those human and legal issues, but they're also developing tools for a toolbox that they can take with them as they interact in the future. So those are kind of the basics. I think the thing that is important for everyone to know is that there is a disqualification clause, so that if there becomes a time of impasse, that the professional team cannot act in any future litigation for the clients. And that is true of other services as well. So coach can't be a therapist, a financial advisor can't be a financial professional can't be a financial advisor, and the lawyer can't represent the clients in other matters. And so that is true across the board. But in the event of an impasse, the professional team has to step away, and the family has to get a new team of litigators to go in. So I find that to be really a plus and a minus. It's a double-edged sword. While it is difficult, it also allows people to then stay at the table, and really forces people to stay at the table to deal with those issues. So that's it in something of a nutshell.
Thank you. I am going to ask Lisa and Liza to break down their roles, because as you identified, Kim, in every divorce, while it is a legal process, there are financial considerations and certainly emotional considerations. And so this team-like approach really provides professionals in each of those areas to help guide the family so that they can make the decisions that work best for their unique family. But before we address that, I want to stay on the legal for a moment, Kim, and ask you a little more about the disqualification clause, because I do think that's misunderstood. And from a professional's standpoint, why is it important to have that? And why should the professionals be comfortable signing off on that?
So it's important to have that because there really is a paradigm shift. So we are not acting in the role of a litigating advocate. And so as a litigating advocate, I would not have an obligation to disclose information that my client may have brought to me that may not be helpful for the case. And so it is very important for clients and professionals to understand the level of commitment of transparency in this process. And so if a client says, well, I've got, money or I'm getting a raise and I don't want to disclose that, and they will not sort of move off of that, I would be required under the terms of the agreement, which are discussed and part of our written agreement. I would be required to then step away from the process and disqualify myself in this process. Very different than in litigation.
Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. So, Liza, can you talk about your role and the mental health professional's role in the collaborative divorce process?
Sure, I'm happy to do that. And I just want to second what Kim was talking about in the sense that a team approach makes sense when you think of a divorce as three parts: a financial, and an emotional, and a legal component. So the mental health professional has a bunch of hats. They call us coaches in Connecticut, so you might hear that term. We, one, deal with the emotional end of the process. We meet with the clients individually and together. We get a sense of who they are, what their goals are. If there are children involved, we get a sense of all of that. So we also will be involved in the development of any parent plan for that family. But we really do try to get a understanding of how this family wants to move going forward. In addition, the mental health person actually helps to monitor the process. Kim alluded to it. We facilitate sometimes difficult conversations between professionals. We make sure that the process runs efficiently and effectively and as smoothly as possible, and help that the timeline move along well together. We're developmental child development specialists, so we have expertise also in that. And then finally, we're also teaching parents how to co-parent once we're all out of the picture. We want that family to move forward respectfully with one another and be able to communicate and carry on a well-functioning parenting plan and be able to dance at their kids' weddings and be together in a way that makes sense so that the children's lives are as seamless as possible.
Thank you. And that's such an important role. I don't think any of us underestimate the importance of the emotional work it takes to get through a divorce process and helping people manage those emotions and learn how to unravel that spousal relationship that they've built up over time and transition that into a healthy co-parenting relationship.
Absolutely.
So that role is so critical. Lisa, I'd like to hear from you on the role of the financial neutral in the collaborative process.
Sure. Well, that's actually a really good segue because the emotion around money is very tangible, and so I will just say that Liza not only helps the clients, but she helps the professionals aid the clients in getting past that so that they can evaluate the decisions that they have to make and make the ones that are best for their family. So my role as a financial, as you said, is neutral. I focus on the family as a whole and not just as what would be best for one party. My primary role is to educate the clients and also the professionals. I don't make any decisions, but I do provide the education and the tools to a couple so that they have the knowledge to make decisions that best meet their interests and goals. And we talk a lot about interests and try and help people move off of their positions. I want this, I need this, to what is behind that want or that need or that desire. There is always generally more than one way to meet a particular interest or goal. And so we want to be able to uncover that so that they can see that there are options, and then they make the decisions about what will best suit their family. So the decisions that they make today will affect their financial future. And so part of my role is to be able to use projections to show them what their cash flow looks like and what their net worth looks like, what their retirement looks like with the decisions that they're making today. And that is often really helpful to see that on paper and in black and white, because what they think may work for them, when they actually look at the numbers, they realize that maybe that's not the best option for them. So I like to say that a successful divorce depends on being educated about your options and realistic about your expectations.
I love that. That's so important. And through this collaborative divorce process, you, I'm sure all three of you are seeing a shift in a family that comes in with fear, with uncertainty, probably feeling very vulnerable. And then with the education and resources you're each providing and the support you're each providing, transitioning to a place where they feel comfortable based on the education and information in making decisions that are best for the entire family.
That's so true. That fear that people have is the fear of the unknown. So if you can remove that and show them, if you follow this path, this is what you are likely to achieve, that can be very comforting and reassuring. And it enables people to be able to move forward with that confidence.
And that's very different than the litigation process, and even different than mediation in that the team is different. So, Kim, can you talk a little bit more about that? What's happening in the litigation world? And are more and more families looking to different approaches to guiding their family through the restructuring?
I think it was true prior to the pandemic, and certainly with the advent of the pandemic, the whole world of courts changed, certainly in Connecticut and really across the country. And I no longer do any litigation. I have voluntarily stepped away from that. The access to the courts now is really very difficult. The process is far less efficient than it ever was, and it really takes forever for clients to wend their way through the litigation process. And so I think that people are generally more interested in a more sort of heart-centered, integrous process, that is, they're not spending money on lawyers sitting around in a courthouse or courtroom waiting their turn, and really are far more interested in investing in a process that will give them greater value, which collaborative absolutely does. It is almost magic to see when clients are able to really step out of old patterns and step into new patterns, and new ways of interacting with one another, and listening deeply, listening to hear instead of listening to respond, and using curiosity as a tool to actually be curious about what's happening with the other person. And those are skills which the team will model and that clients can take away. And it is a process where they can feel that what is requested, if there's a question about something, then backup documents are brought in, and they have experts in each of the three areas to help them analyze those documents or analyze the situation, and really provide a more holistic and I believe heart-based experience for people.
Thank you. And after all, I think that the public is learning that what started with love can end with respect. And now the professionals are realizing any professional who works with families in Connecticut should be trained, right? And so maybe Liza, you can talk about what's happening in the world of ADR. The IACP was nominated for the 2023 Nobel Peace Prize. Maybe you can touch on that. And then we can transition into a discussion of why divorce, well, I shouldn't say divorce professionals, why divorce professionals and any professional working with families should be trained in this process.
Yeah, so the IACP is an international organization, the International Academy of Collaborative Professionals, and it is a combination of financial, mental health, and legal professionals who all practice collaborative divorce and are all trained in collaborative divorce, which we're going to talk about in a minute. IACP has been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, which is phenomenal. That just happened this year. So we're all very proud of that. So the organization is definitely worldwide, with collaborative spreading. Asia, all continents are working on the collaborative model at different levels. Certainly, United States and Canada probably have the majority of practitioners. We get together once a year for a fantastic conference, and the learning is wonderful for everybody. So it is a movement that has happened over the course of a number of years, starting way back sitting at a kitchen table, and two lawyers started deciding that they didn't like arguing with one another on cases, and how could they do this differently? And then it spread to include an interdisciplinary model, and it's still growing substantially.
Thank you. So and I'll leave this open to whomever wants to start the conversation on the specific training that CCND offers that's coming up in March. Tell us a little about the training and also your thoughts as to, again, why all professionals who work with families should be trained in the collaborative divorce process.
Lisa, you want to take that?
Sure. Well, as you said, so all of the disciplines will be represented, the financial, emotional, and legal part of a divorce. The reason that I think it's so important for people to be trained is because a divorce does cover all of these areas. And when you have professionals that have expertise in these areas, you don't have the responsibility or the expectation to know everything. So the lawyers, who have to stay current and updated with legal norms and rulings, that's their responsibility. The responsibility of the financial professional is to understand and stay updated on tax changes. And companies are getting so creative about how they compensate their employees. We have more entrepreneurs that are starting, their own businesses. Not everyone is a W-2 employee anymore. So that when you structure the settlements, you have to make sure that, number one, they can be achieved in addition to meeting the client's interests and goals. So when we're training the other professionals, the other divorce professionals, we really focus on the expertise of each professional, which is, in my opinion, critically important.
I think also that the shift for all of us in each profession is enormous from what we're used to doing as a therapist or a couples counselor or a lawyer, what a lawyer's doing. So without the training, I think professionals don't really understand what is labeled a paradigm shift. And it is a shift to what Lisa's talking about, a team model. So there's that shift. It's a shift to a client-centered process. It's a shift to focusing on goals and interests, not telling people what they should get or might possibly get in a legal proceeding. And we spend a lot of time in the training with role play and demonstration. I must say that the training is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun for us, and it's a lot of fun for the professionals who take the training. And I think everybody leaves with a very different viewpoint on how they can help a family transition respectfully and with dignity to a reconstructed family unit.
I would say it is akin to teaching people to fish rather than the old paradigm of us being the solution makers of giving them the fish.
Yeah.
It's often harder work for the clients too, because they have to be really involved. They can't just say, here, solve this problem for me, to an attorney, hire an attorney and say, get me the best deal that you can. They're really invested in the process, and that's so important. But as professionals, if we can see a solution or we can see options, but the challenge is to get the clients to see it, because when they see it, then they're more likely to buy into it, and that's really important.
A quick word about the training is we have taken essentially all of the lecture portion and recorded them and put them offline. So the entire training is really interactive. So it is a completely interactive training where we go through all of the steps. We tell them about it, we demonstrate it, and send them off to do each of the steps, and then several of actual meetings. So by the end of the training, they have done several full team collaborative meetings, which is very different than the training used to be when it was live.
Yeah, and don't you guys think that there's a responsibility for any professional in our state and across the country who works with families to understand this? Because I do think that while there's been this paradigm shift, and while the consumers and the families are looking for alternatives to litigation, there's still some misunderstanding about what the collaborative process is.
Mhm.
And oftentimes I still hear people thinking they need to lawyer up. They're getting divorced. This is a legal process, when that's almost your last stop after doing the emotional and the physical and the financial homework, so to speak.
Yeah.
So by therapists getting trained in this, by financial professionals getting trained in this, and certainly by the lawyers getting trained in this, they're widening their own practice, and they're able to discuss this with potential families that might be embarking on this path.
Mm-hmm. And it's a learning experience. And so, as the lawyer, you sort of get to see the inner workings of the financial professional and the mental health professional, and same, all the way around. So it very much is value added, I think. And we all say, because of the sort of shift in listening deeply and curiosity and heart-based conversations, that we can see the difference in our own lives.
Absolutely. Liza, we only have a minute to go. Can you tell everybody, please, what the dates for the training are and how to get some more information?
Sure. Get more information by going to the CCND website, which there it is. And the training is over 4 days on the 9th and the 10th of March, which is a Thursday and a Friday, and the following Monday. And it runs from 8:30 in the morning until 1 o'clock, approximately 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Online only.
Thank you. Thank you three for doing what you're doing, for being leaders in adversarial divorce. I'm sorry, the non-adversarial divorce process, and for the trainings that you do for CCND. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rosemary.